Welcome back. It is a Money Monday edition of Liquid Lunch on NEWSMAX TV. I'm John TABACCO. Great commentary today coming off the college campuses of America, and Peter Boghossian and Paul Barkita giving us two different perspectives, but pointing out the fact that it's still just crazy on these campuses how the left controls them and the right has a lower and lower opportunity to have their voices heard, Frankie. It's really got scary.
Very interesting, John. Quite a bit of breaking news that we're following today, including, hey, do you remember Don Blankenship?
No.
Don Blankenship, you may remember,
No.
was the CEO of Massey Energy Company, which is a coal extractor.
Fair.
And he went to prison for about a year after a misdemeanor conviction of conspiring to violate safety regulations after a mine explosion killed 29 people. You remember? So that's who we're talking about. Went to prison. He was the CEO. You remember that now?
Yeah. Okay. I remember that.
He also ran for U.S. Senate in 2018, narrowly lost a Republican primary. Well, good news for you Blankenship fans. He's back, and he is now running for president. He announced today that he's going to be seeking the nomination of the Constitution Party, which is kind of a conservative third party here in the United States, saying in a statement that President Trump means well, but he simply cannot get it done because he's too busy mending his self-inflicted wounds and tripping over his ego. Now, obviously, nobody would normally take somebody like Don Blankenship seriously, but for the fact that he's got a whole bunch of money that he's prepared to spend.
Still got the money, even though he had to go to jail and everything, he still kept the cash.
Got the cash.
All right. Hey, listen, I give him credit. I'm thinking about running for president myself. I'm going to make my final decision this week.
Oh.
But as you know, I have until Friday to file to get in the New Hampshire primaries, and I am seriously considering it.
Well, today, John, is the deadline to file in Arkansas.
No.
No.
I'm not interested in Arkansas.
Not interested in Arkansas.
I'm going. I like the Razorbacks as far as football is concerned, but I don't think I have a good shot in Arkansas. I think I have a hell of a shot in New Hampshire to really shock the world.
Well, it's going to be interesting, and we're keeping an eye on that. Speaking of shocking the world, has anybody looked at what's going on in Latin America and in South America? So let's begin with Bolivia, okay? The president there just resigned after massive protests, and basically what we saw in Bolivia was a coup. This guy changed the rules in order to run for a fourth term. They call it in Bolivia doing a full Bloomberg. And there was massive outrage. People were protesting. There was violence. So he and his vice president resigned. And now the leader of the opposition have taken over in Bolivia. Now, this guy is a hard leftist. He was the longest serving elected leftist president in Latin America. And what we saw there was a coup. Now, if you look at Brazil, where Bolsonaro is the president. You know why Bolsonaro is the president? Because the guy that was the most popular politician in Brazil, they threw in jail and said he couldn't run for office. You know where else a coup is taking place?
Right here.
Right here in the United States of America. And
Let's
I
ring
know
the bell
some of you may think you know about this because of impeachment. The issue runs so much deeper. It is not just the opposition party, the Democrats, that are trying to facilitate a coup in this country. It is even the members of Donald Trump's own administration. I was shocked at the candor of former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley in her interview with CBS this weekend. She's got a new book out. She gave a preview of what she says in the book. Listen to this and tell me you're not shocked.
Recounts a closed-door encounter with then White House Chief of Staff John Kelly and then Secretary of State Rex Tillerson. Kelly and Tillerson confided in me that when they resisted the president, they weren't being insubordinate, they were trying to save the country. And then the Secretary of State Tillerson went on to tell you the reason he resisted the president's decisions was because if he didn't, people would die. Do you memorialize that conversation? It definitely happened?
It absolutely happened. And instead of saying that to me, they should have been saying that to the president, not asking me to join them on their sidebar plan. It should have been, go tell the president what your differences are and quit if you don't like what he's doing. But to undermine a president is really a very dangerous thing.
I don't care whether you love Donald Trump, whether you hate Donald Trump, whether you're conservative or liberal. What we're seeing is very frightening. What you saw is one of the president's own appointees saying the president's chief of staff and his own secretary of state went to her and tried to recruit her for this intra-palace coup to save the American people from the consequences of our own decisions. And John, this goes hand in hand with what we heard about Rod Rosenstein being willing to secretly tape record the president in order to get him declared incompetent under the 25th Amendment.
Crazy.
Folks, this is not normal behavior. There is
Not
a
how it's
coup
supposed to go down.
going on even within the Trump administration. There are these people who were elected by no one. Thankfully, Rex Tillerson and John Kelly are not there anymore. These people were elected by, and neither is Rod Rosenstein. These people were elected by no one, and they think it's their job to save the country from how the people voted. You know what? We voted for Donald Trump. If he does a bad job, it's on us.
Yeah,
and you know what our alternative is? Vote for someone else.
Yeah, leave us alone already. Let the guy govern. I mean, he's like in a hornet's nest the whole time here. We're finding out now that he had his chief of staff and his secretary of state.
And who knows
who
who
trying
else?
to recruit the UN ambassador, and Rod Rosenstein, the deputy of the FBI, was thinking about taping him, secretly taping him.
And this goes hand in hand
And
with
here's
what we
the guy.
saw in that anonymous New York Times op-ed.
Yeah.
Anonymous, the guy, very brave, has a new book out, by the way, in which he is, again, not saying his name. Maybe we'll have Anonymous join us for a show as a guest co-host,
Yeah,
like
we
the
had the
whistleblower.
last week.
Yeah.
You know, I've been saying it for a while. Trump ran on jobs. We got the lowest unemployment rate in 60 years. He ran on opportunities for minorities. We have the lowest African-American unemployment rate in history. Despite all these people trying to run a soft coup and get him out of office. The guy's unbelievable. The rest of the show is going to be unbelievable, too, so don't go anywhere.
But
Stay right there.
my point is, even if Trump's doing a bad job, it's still not the responsibility of his
We
own
voted
staff
for him.
to create this mutiny.
That's right. There's a mutiny going on here because they told us to end this segment multiple times, and we didn't, but we're going to now. We're going to take a quick break and come back at you right after this.